Okay, so in chapters 4.1, not chapters, I mean in chapter 4.1, what did we learn? Let me just turn my screen on. In chapter 5, sorry, in chapter 4.1, we learned about how to multiply two algebraic expressions, right? Where is it? Yeah, so multiply the first expression with the second expression and so on. And in chapter 4.2, we learned how to divide. In chapter 4.3, we learned how to add or subtract. And we also learned how to use brackets. So in chapter 5, we're going to see that we use these things to make formulas. So what are formulas actually, guys? Are there some magical things that people just make out of nowhere? Did someone appear one day and say that a plus b whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square? Did someone just come in and say that out of nowhere? Of course not, right? So every single formula can be expressed, can be learned in some way that you should understand. Okay, so before
Sir,
we,
I have a question. In this week, we have our math exam in this class. Like we have our model test, but I do not know the syllabus.
the syllabus was uploaded to your classroom yesterday at like 2 p.m., 2 a.m. or something. I wasn't sleeping. So in the syllabus, we had chapter 3, chapter 4.1 and 4.2. And wait, what? I forgot to add 4.3. 4.3 is a part. Okay, let me edit that right now. I forgot.
Means that, sir, that means chapter 3, chapter 4, and
Nothing. Just chapter 3 and chapter 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. That's it.
that means the chapter 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Sir, I didn't do chapter 3 because we don't have chapter 3 in our midterm syllabus. In this case, what should I do now?
chapter 3 is integers, right? Is the name of chapter 3 integers? I forgot.
Sir, you do class on that chapter. So if you join the
Oh, measurement.
classes,
Yeah, I did take classes, but
Or
again, a lot of you don't watch recorded videos. I don't know why, but you guys just don't. So I suggest,
sir, I think she joined in that.
oh, you were present in those classes.
I think Mamu was.
I did.
Do you two know each other?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, well, there are two things that matter here. First of all, if you know that you haven't studied this chapter at all and it's going to appear in your exams, and you know that in the future you're going to study, you can just ignore. But the fact is, you are kids and your parents are not going to like it when you get 20 out of 50. So, yeah, it's up to you now. I mean, I have to continue my own syllabus and you have to continue your
Yes,
studies.
sir, I think the ones who don't have this chapter in their half-yearly, they do have that on their final syllabus, final
Yeah, yeah,
yearly
exactly.
syllabus.
They do have it eventually. Like you are going to finish these chapters when the year ends, right? So anyway, the main point here is that no matter what, the exam is going to be on chapter 3 and 4. And there's also a good side of it. Since you are not studying chapter 3 right now, then you must have studied some chapter that we haven't covered yet. So you are actually ahead of us in one way or the other. So maybe you're going to have advantage in that exam. But for now, if you can convince your parents that you're going to get low marks because of this, then that's up to you.
Sir,
So
I could learn it from my home tutor if needed.
you can also watch the recordings. I have
20
already
out of
taken the class. So
Okay,
you don't need to even tell your home tutor to teach you the chapter because I've already taught it. You can just watch the recordings and it's a pretty easy chapter. Okay.
right. Okay.
Okay. So as I was saying, let's continue back to the class. Where did these formulas come from? So obviously, they did not appear out of nowhere. And so, first of all, we need to ask ourselves, what is a plus b squared? A plus B just means A plus B squared just means A plus B into A plus B, right? Basically, when
When we have the square power, the power 2 over anything, that means we are multiplying it twice.
exactly. So for example, when we wrote 2 square, we just meant 2 times 2. When we wrote 3 cube, we just wrote 3 times 3 into 3. So what does square mean? Square means that this is multiplied 2 times with itself. It does not mean A plus B times 2. Of course not. So anyway, so that's what this means. So now when we get to this line, we just need to ask ourselves, okay, so mathematicians are saying that this is equals to this. How? Let's just see what we learned up to now. We know how to multiply, right? So we multiply this with this, which becomes A square. You multiply A with B, which becomes AB. Then you multiply B with A, which also becomes AB. And then you multiply B with B, which becomes B square. So now if you just simplify, what does it become? It becomes A square plus 2AB plus B square. So this is the formula, right? So even if this formula didn't exist, you could have done every single math on your own by adding 2 extra lines. But the problem is that when maths get more complex, you will struggle to do maths in this way, in a very detailed way. So that's where formulas come into use. And you have to understand that A and B are variables, right? Anything could be in the place of A and B. Like if I wanted to, I could say that A plus B, A is equals to C plus D minus E. For example, because A is a variable, I can put whatever I want inside a variable. So that's why the formula is needed basically. And your whole chapter is based on these two formulas, A plus B whole square and A minus B whole square. So can you tell me what the formula for A minus B whole square is?
So can I just
Square
say it
minus
in
2ab
short?
plus b square.
What? A
Means,
square?
sir,
A
can
square
I just
minus 2ab plus b square.
Yeah, A square minus 2AB plus B square. Okay, 1 second, guys. Give me a. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, so we know that this is the formula, right? So how did we get to this formula? We just know that if we square, it just means A minus B times A minus B, and then we just say that this is the multiplication. So we know how to multiply two algebraic expressions. So this is just that. And this is literally your whole chapter. Just the whole chapter is going to be unique things in the place of A and B. That's it. Sometimes they're going to put numbers here. Sometimes they're going to say what is, okay, no, not 3 minus 4 square because that's just 1. But anyway, I'm just saying that instead of A and B, there's going to be separate things. There's going to be unique things. So let's look at those unique things. So here you can see that they derived A plus B whole square is equals to A square plus 2AB plus B square in their own way. What did they do? Multiplying polynomial by polynomial, blah, blah, blah. You guys know what I did. That's more simpler. Just follow that. And there's a geometrical explanation of the formula. You guys do not need this. This will never appear in your exams. And this actually looks more complex. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the corollaries. So if
Sir, can I just say the importance of these formulas in short?
yes, go ahead.
Like it's just used for shortening the math. Like in our exams or anything, we don't have that much time to square a big number. So we just we just put it in the formula and it will become a shorter one. Then we can find the square of that.
Yes. Now, what you said, does this only apply to these formulas or does this apply to any formula that exists in this universe?
Any formula.
Exactly. So that's the point of any formula, right? It's just to simplify, it's just to make your life easier. So now let's talk about the corollaries. So the corollaries are basically found from this line. If I wanted to, I could say that A square is equals to A plus B whole square minus 2AB minus B square. Could I not have said this? Yes. So I can say that this is a corollary, but this is a very useless corollary. We are never going to use this ever. So a useful corollary is A square plus B square. And that is
A plus B whole square minus 2AB, A minus B whole square plus 2.
So if this is the corollary from this formula, then from this formula, we can find another corollary. So notice that these are the same things. This is a square plus b square, and this is also a square plus b square. But they're both indicating to two different things. One is a plus b whole square minus 2ab, and one is a minus b whole square plus 2ab. Do you think you need to memorize this, guys? No, because I mean, a lot of you will memorize this. Those who are gonna be,
Already memorized it.
yeah, okay. But yeah, it just gets memorized pretty easily, right? It's an easy formula. But the fact is, even if you ever forget what this is, then you just find it from a plus b whole square. Okay, just find it yourself. It's easy. So these were the corollaries, and now here we go. There are some example maths and so on. I'm not going to solve them. A minus b whole square and this. Okay, we're done with these corollaries from the first and second formula. Okay, yeah. These are two very important corollaries. A lot of them actually. So instead of going to my whiteboard over and over again, let's just keep it here because this is better actually. So again, from this single formula, we found this. Now they did something here. What did they do? They did this. Let's just write the line first of all. Now they randomly said that instead of 2ab, I'm going to write 4ab. Why? আমার ইচ্ছা করছে তাই, আর কিছু না। এখন 2ab বাড়ায় দিছে। এখন 2ab যদি আমি ইনক্রিজ করি, if I still want the equation to be valid, I will need to subtract 2ab, right? Because আমি 2ab বাড়াইছি। So to keep it equal, I subtract 2ab. So now আমি যদি এটাকে একটু rearrange করি, what does it become? So এখন look at this form. I mean, not a formula, look at this expression. This is equal to a minus b whole square. So now this is actually another corollary, that a plus b whole square is equals to a minus b whole square plus 4a.
Sir, this corollary is mainly used when like the value of a minus b is given, but they are asking for a plus, like they
Yeah.
are asking for a whole opposite thing.
Yeah.
Then we will use.
Yes, you can use them. The fact is, if you say that this is the way of using this, then actually you're slightly wrong, because you should keep all the formulas in your hand like this. Okay, you just have it in your hand. Okay, wherever you want to, you just throw the formula there. Okay, and it will work, because these formulas are like universal truths. No matter what you do, these are going to work and these are going to get you somewhere. So anyway, and in the same way, from the formula of a minus b whole square is equals to, okay, you know what? We don't need to derive it again. We can actually derive this formula from this formula. If I take a minus b whole square in one side, and then I write a plus b whole square is equals to a plus b whole square minus 4ab. This is also right. So this is another corollary, right?
Like the signs will change. Then.
Exactly. I just switched the positions and this is another corollary. So now let's look at some more corollaries. These are also very useful ones, but the problem here is these are not used much. At least, I mean, in class 7, yes, maybe it will be used a lot because you guys are just learning it, and all the maths are going to be like, just to teach you the formula, they're going to give you maths using this formula. But when you grow up, maybe in class 8 or 9, you're often going to forget corollary 5 and 6. Even I forget these formulas, but because you don't really use them that much. Okay. But again, the corollary here is they're trying to find a formula for this. Okay. And what did they do? They just write the formula for a plus b whole square, and they just write the formula for a minus b whole square, and they see that there's a simple way to write it. It's just 2 times a square plus b square. And the same goes for a minus sign, right? It just becomes 4ab. So actually, corollary 5 এর থেকেও corollary 6 is the most useful corollary that you're going to forget. ঠিক আছে? So make sure you guys do not forget these corollaries, corollary 5 and 6. So একটা জিনিস সবাই আই থিঙ্ক ক্লিয়ার হয়ে গেছে অলরেডি, যে আমাদের ফান্ডামেন্টাল ফর্মুলা কিন্তু একটাই বলবো, দুইটাও বলবো, কারণ জাস্ট এইটারই যদি আমি সাইন চেঞ্জ করি, মাইনাস করে দিই, তখন এখানে মাইনাস হয়ে যায়। এটাকে যদি আমি এই পাশে নিয়ে আসি এই দুইটাকে, তখন আরেকটা ফর্মুলা হয়ে যায়। এটা এবং
I have a question.
ইয়া গো হেড।
I have a question that in the formula a plus b whole square, it is a square plus 2b plus b square. That means when we turn it to a minus b whole square, it will be, it was supposed to be a square minus 2b minus b square. Why it is then plus?
Is it supposed
Like
to
why?
be, is it supposed to be minus?
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. Like technically, all the signs should be changed, right?
no,
But in the formula, it only one sign is changed.
no. Notice what's happening. What is a minus b whole square? It's a minus b times a minus b. Just multiply them manually. A times a square. A times minus b, minus ab. Minus b times a, minus ba or minus ab. Minus b times
I know
minus.
the formula is a square minus 2b plus b square, but I was just talking about the logic that you said that if we just change all the signs, we can.
Oh, not all the signs. I mean just the minus in front of the 2ab. So now let's jump into the maths. Speed run করবো আজকে, চলো। Determine the square with the help of the formula. আচ্ছা,
So you show us one and then we will solve.
আচ্ছা। Can you guys tell me যে 5, 6 এগুলা কেন দিছে? Like what's the
আমাদের
point of
আমাদের বুদ্ধি চেক করার জন্য।
1 second? This is yeah, the point of these are instead of 55 you could have wrote 60 minus 5, and then if you square it becomes something else. I mean there's a, instead of like 55 square you can find the square of these numbers in a simpler way. That's what I'm
Sir,
trying.
if we do 54 plus 1, then
Yeah, even that works. Sir, what does corollary mean? Corollary মানে হচ্ছে এই যে করলা একটা সবজি আছে না, ওটা। এখন আসলে এই করলারি ওয়ার্ডটা জানো আমি শিখছি হচ্ছে কয়েক সপ্তাহ আগে, বিকজ আমি হচ্ছে বাংলা ভার্সন, বুঝছো? আমি হচ্ছে বাংলা ভার্সনে
স্যার আপনাদের বাংলা ভাষায় এটাকে কি বলে?
এটা এটা হচ্ছে আরেকটা টাং টুইস্টার, এটাকে বলে হচ্ছে অনুসিদ্ধান্ত।
what? অনুসিদ্ধান্ত।
হ্যাঁ, এটা হচ্ছে করলারি। করলারি বাংলা দিয়েও কেউ বুঝবে না যে করলারি মানে। বেসিকলি করলারি মানে হচ্ছে একটা ফর্মুলা থেকে আরো কয়েকটা ফর্মুলা আমরা বের করছি, মানে ওই একটা সিদ্ধান্ত থেকে আমরা আরো অনেকগুলা সিদ্ধান্ত নিতে পারতেছি। সো অনুসিদ্ধান্ত দিয়ে বুঝাইতেছে ওই সিদ্ধান্তর আন্ডারে পড়ে এরকম আরো কয়েকটা সিদ্ধান্ত, এটি ডিসিশন।
I just know that corollary means the alternative of another formula. Isn't it, sir?
Yeah, that's one way to explain it. Give me a second. What chapter are we in? Chapter 5, right? Sorry for all the delay today.
Sir, I'm trying to understand the syllabus planning of this institution. Like all the teachers are teaching all the chapters of every subject, right?
Yeah,
Because some of the schools have these chapters and some of them have that. So they will finish all of them.
yeah, eventually. And the good part of this is there is the class recordings exist, so you guys can always watch them later, eventually, when your exams come and your home tutor has taught you this 2 months ago, you can't go back to those classes and you can't go back to your school classes, but you can always come back to some class recordings. That's also a demerit actually, because since you have a recording, there's a tendency to not care about these classes when they happen, because you can
But
always
sir,
just watch them.
problem is I feel very lethargic to open on the recorded classes. That's why sometimes we don't.
এত লেথার্জিক হইলে হবে না। আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, কে কি বলতেছিলাম, সরি আমি দেখিনি। Anyway, let's start the chapter. So first of all, a plus 5 whole square. Just formulaতে আমরা বসাই দেব জিনিসটা, যে we know that a plus b whole square is, by the way, মাহার মারোয়া কথা বলতেছে, বাকি সবাই এত চুপ, মানে তোমরা তো লেফট আউট ফিল করার কথা, তোমরাও কথা বলবা, এনজয় দ্য ক্লাস, হ্যাভ এ কনভারসেশন উইথ মি। So anyway,
Maybe
a
they
plus
choose to talk with you.
maybe. So a plus 5 whole square. So from the formula, আমরা শিখছিলাম যে a plus b whole square is equals to something. Now, as I said before, b is a variable and we could put anything in place of the variable. So instead of the b, I can now say that the b is 5. We can treat 5 as b. So now the formula would be a square plus 2a. Instead of b, I have 5. So it's going to be 2a times 5. And instead of b square, I can write 5 square. So this just becomes a square plus 10a plus 25. That's it.
In our schools, our teacher said that it is essential to give the bracket of like outside the A and B. Like
Yes, sir.
A
My teacher.
bracket square,
Wait.
A bracket square, then 2 into, and we have to also
This.
give the into signs.
This.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. You don't need to, but they're teaching you this. You will very soon understand this when we go to stuff with 3 things. That's where the brackets are very important. And that's why they're trying to make sure you're familiar with it. Okay, because if I write like this and things are getting complex, then you won't know what 2a5 means. You're going to get confused. So anyway, we are going to go into them and then we are going to see what we do with it. So anyway, this was number 1, which is pretty easy. Number 2, you just need to use the formula for a minus b whole square. Number 3, again, you just use the formula for a minus b whole square. And number 4, you need to use the formula for a plus b whole square. So I'm just going to show you number 4 again, because this is a place where you might need the brackets. Not might, you definitely need the brackets. So they're saying find the square of this with the formula. One thing is for sure, if, by the way, you have never read this chapter and you don't know how the formulas work and you write like this, do you think you're going to get any marks? No, absolutely not, because they have told you to do this with the help of the formula. So there is no way that you can avoid it. So now, anyway, we're going to treat this as the first variable, a. Or since a already exists, I'm going to write it as x. And I'm going to say that this variable is y. So now instead of a and b, I'm writing x plus y. The formula is still the same, right? X square plus 2xy plus y. So now, what is x square? X square is 5a square whole square. What is 2 times, what is x? X is 5a square. What is y? Y is 9m square. And then we have what? Y square. What is y? Y is 9m square whole square. See, this is why the brackets are important. Because when things get complex, if you wrote something like this is actually wrong. This means 5a to the power 4. But this means 25a to the power 4. So there's a difference. So that's why the brackets are important. But not everywhere. If you understand where it's useful, then you can understand where to use it. So anyway, we have already applied the formula. And so we can just write 25 a to the power 4 plus 2 times 5 plus 9. What's that? 90 a square m square plus 9 square 81 m to the power 4. And that is our answer. So you can see that the answers are not very like pretty, they're big, but the whole point of this is that you know how to write these formulas. So now let's go over to this funny looking maths, which are 55, 990, and 97. Why do they exist? They exist because if you want to
Sir,
find,
can you just do one math of these types and give us to do another?
yeah, of course. So 55 is basically 50 times 5 times 55. And you can definitely find the multiplication. But they're telling you to use the formula. Why? Because there's an easy way to find this without writing 55 times 55. Because instead of 55, if you write 50 plus 5, things are going to get easier. Why? Because you know that 5 squared is 25. This is kind of memorized. There is something that you always keep memorized. You know what 2 square is, you know what 3 square is, you know what 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and even 10. But the most simple ones are 10 square, 5 square, and 2 square, basically, right? Because they're very pretty looking. This is just 4, this is 25, and this is 100. There are some very wholesome numbers. They look good. So we're always going to try to turn these weird looking numbers into this good looking number. And the good looking number is 50 plus 5. So now they're telling you to square 55. So instead of 55, you're going to square 50 plus 5. And you can say, sir, 50 is not a pretty number. You wrote 2, 5, 10. But 50 is coming from 10, actually, because 10 times 5 is 50. So anyway, now you write 50 squared plus 2 times 50 times 5 plus 5 squared, which is again just the normal formula. And now this is where things get easier because you know that 5 squared, what is 5 squared? 5 squared is 25.
So after, if it is a square, so there will be 2 zeros.
Yes, there's just going to be 2 more zeros. So it's easier for you to calculate, right? And that is why we separate 55 into 2 different numbers.
Sir, I have seen that when we convert this into like 10 numbers, like if it is 25 whole square, we say that 20 plus 5, then there will always come zeros and it is easy to calculate zeros.
Exactly.
We just count the zeros and put it.
Exactly. So again, and this part is also becoming very pretty. 550 into 2, which is 100, and 100 into 5 is 500. And then 5 square is just 20. So what's the answer to this? It's just 3025. এখন বাকিদের কি অবস্থা একটু বলো, কেউ একটা কথা বলতেছো না তোমরা বাকি, এখনো কোনো কথা বলতেছো? আচ্ছা রনক,
আই থিঙ্ক ওরা কোনো একটা মনোব্রত পালন করতেছে।
থাক, তোমাদের দেখে ওরা এখন মানে ভয় পেয়ে গেছে যে এরা দুইজন নিশ্চয়ই স্যারের সাথে অনেক ক্লোজ, বাট আমরা এত ক্লোজ না, আমরা কথা বলতে পারবো না। এখন বলো তোমাদের কি অবস্থা আছে, যেহেতু কথা বলতেছো না, ফার্স্ট অফ অল একটু হ্যান্ডটা রেজ করো, যদি সবকিছু বুঝে থাকো আপ টু নাও, দেন রেজ ইওর হ্যান্ড। Lot of hands raised, almost all of you except for 4. আচ্ছা 4 এর ভিতরে তো দুইজন যে এতক্ষণ ধরে কথা বলতেছে আছে। আচ্ছা অরিত্র আর তৌফিকুল, তোমাদের কি হয়েছে? Aritro and Taufikul, are you guys present? Did you understand everything, or are there any questions?
Yes, sir. I understand everything.
Then if you do, then kindly raise your hand. Do you know how to raise your hand in Zoom? Yeah, just like that. Okay, so great. And now lower your hands and raise them again after you solve both 6 and 9. Okay,
Yes, yes, sir.
solve 6 and 9.